Northwest Arkansas Hospital is on the list to be one of the first in the state to get the COVID-19 vaccine. 5 News reporter Catherine Gilker spoke to leaders at Washington Regional and tell us the vaccine could arrive by the end of next month.
Washington Regional Medical Center in Fayetteville was asked by Secretary of Health Dr. Jose Romero to be one of the first hospitals in the state to receive the COVID-19 vaccine based on the number of patients they have treated and the spread of the virus in our area.
We certainly raised our hand and are happy to help the community, first responders, and of course our hospital and healthcare system give this vaccine out to those that need it.
Washington Regional Chief Operating Officer Birch Wright says first the hospital's healthcare workers will receive the vaccine and then first responders. They do not know how many doses they will receive, but both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine require 2 doses to get to the 94 and 95% efficacy. He hopes by early spring that anybody that wants a vaccine can get one.
We still have to be vigilant. We still have to make sure we do the socially distancing and masking and washing our hands. There's not going to be enough vaccine in the next month for everyone. So we've got to prioritize those groups, get those people vaccinated, make sure they stay safe so we can take care of those patients that we're still trying to treat.
The City of Fayetteville Board of Health has purchased an ultra-low freezer for Washington Regional. The hospital already owns one of these freezers, but this way they will have plenty of storage to keep the Pfizer vaccine, which has to be kept at a very specific temperature. Fayetteville Board of Health Officer Dr. Marty Sharkey says they felt purchasing a second freezer to store the vaccine was important for the community. The just over $11,000 the freezer cost came from CARES Act money.
It should help out everybody throughout the state that we can accept the Pfizer vaccine and let other people who don't have that capacity to accept the Moderna vaccine, which only has to be kept in a regular freezer.
There is not a specific date for when the vaccine will be available, since it's still waiting on FDA approval. In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Catherine Gilker, 5 News.
It is expected that high-risk groups like healthcare workers, the elderly, and people with underlying medical conditions would get that vaccine first. It could be available to everybody else, they say, by early next spring.